For Comedy Hype News, I'm Symphony Thompson. This week, Netflix released its comedy documentary, Headliners Only, following Chris Rock and Kevin Hart's co-headlining mini tour that took place in July of 2022. The film would depict both Rock and Hart's rise to comedy stardom and the preparation that led to their final stop on the tour, Madison Square Garden. The teaming up of two of comedy's most relevant stars was inspired by the original Kings of Comedy. In the documentary, Kevin Hart will reveal that the iconic tour, starring Steve Harvey, D.L. Hughley, Cedric the Entertainer, and Bernie Mac, was his inspiration for getting together with Chris. The Kings of Comedy became the highest grossing stand-up comedy tour of its time. When you think about the Kings of Comedy, you got to think about how and why that was done. It was, we're gonna show that we can do this and that we all align ourselves in a way that there's no competition. I think what Chris and I wanted to do was our own version of that. Hughley and Cedric would make an appearance in the documentary where they reminisce about their time together on tour and how collaborative it was. Hart said the tour could have continued, but egos had ruined it. Now, the behind-the-scenes beef between Steve Harvey and Bernie Mac has been well documented. Many consider this rivalry as the reason why the tour ended. But just last year, while appearing as a guest on Shannon Sharpe's Club Shay Shay podcast, Cedric would reveal that the tour's promoter started to let the success of the show get to his head.
But I also think that it had a lot to do with the promoter on the thing, because he got a bigger head than all of us. The dude that put us all together started to really think it was about him. You know, like, y'all would be together if it wasn't for me.
Walter Latham had previously spoken with Comedy Hype back in 2012 under the company name The Laughing Barrel. In that conversation, Walter revealed that D.L. Hughley is the only member of the Kings of Comedy that he currently has a relationship with. According to the interview, Walter doesn't know why he hasn't been able to get in contact with Harvey or Cedric.
I don't have a relationship with anybody but D.L. Hughley. And I can't tell you why, but I can't even get on Steve's radio show. I can't get Cedric to return a phone call. And the only thing I've done for them to make them rich and famous. But the only thing I can kind of say is that I believe it could be that a lot of times these guys have egos and they believe, well, you didn't make me famous with Kings of Comedy. I was already famous anyway.
For years, a reunion has been discussed, with the closest we got to seeing one was the Comedy Get Down tour, featuring Hughley, Cedric, George Lopez, Eddie Griffin, and Charlie Murphy. The tour actually led to a series on BET back in 2017. Now, the 85 South team has created a tour featuring the talent of comedic powerhouses of DC Young Fly, Carlos Miller, and Chico Bean. The trio has carved a lane for themselves, becoming one of the highest grossing comedy tours of the current day. They would also celebrate their tour by releasing a Netflix special earlier this year. But what do you guys think about Kevin Hart saying the Kings of Comedy tour could have continued if it wasn't for egos? Do you agree? Let's talk about it in the comments below. Stay up to date with the latest news in comedy by subscribing here to our YouTube channel, follow Comedy Hype across all social media, and look out for original content on our new streaming service. For Comedy Hype News, I'm Symphony Thompson.